Are you missing these 8 signs that a major new beginning is happening soon? Picture a morning when the air feels charged, like the house has been unplugged and someone just pressed the reset button. A simple thought arrives and the room tilts. A decision you've avoided for months feels suddenly lighter. If that image lands with you, stay with me. By the end, you'll recognize the 8 clear clues, and you'll have exactly what to do to step into this window with intention. If you want to keep catching these cosmic windows, hit subscribe and like. It helps the message reach others who are ready for change. Something rare is stirring in the sky. Venus, Neptune, and Saturn crowding into the fiery territory of Aries. I'll keep this beginner-friendly. Think of Venus as your values and desires, what you actually love and what feels worth your time. Neptune is imagination, intuition, the soft whisper of what might be possible beyond current limits. Saturn is not a killjoy. It's structure, timing, and the muscle that turns dreams into practice. Aries is the archetype of initiation, the first breath, the first step, the person who lights the match. When these 3 meet, what you get is a kind of psychological reset. Desire meets imagination, meets the willingness to build. That combination can create a short, intense window where dreams feel reachable and the first steps toward them feel plausible. It isn't a guarantee of external miracles. It's a powerful invitation to start differently. The sky is offering symbolism and momentum. How you respond matters. Here's the big idea in plain language. Desire points you to what matters, imagination shows you the shape of what's possible, and structure gives you the legs to make it last. When those 3 are aligned, you often notice patterns in your inner life and outer world. Those patterns are what I call signs, 8 of them, each one easy to spot once you know what to look for. For each sign, I'll give you a reflective prompt and a 1-line micro-action you can take immediately. 1. Sudden inspiration that feels different, you know the kind, an idea that isn't just a passing novelty, but carries a clarity that settles in your chest. It's not, wouldn't it be nice? It's, that's the next thing. Reflective prompt. What image or sentence has been repeatedly returning to you over the last few days? Micro-action. Write it down verbatim in 1 line and set a timer for 10 minutes to riff on it. Don't edit, just expand. 2. Emotional clarity about what no longer serves. Instead of indecision or vague discomfort, you feel a clean no about certain habits, roles, or relationships. It's less drama, more a quiet realignment. Reflective prompt. When you imagine your life in 6 months, what 3 things are absent, and does that absence feel like relief? Micro-action. List those 3 things and cross one of them off from your immediate to-do list by setting a single practical boundary, e.g., decline 1 recurring obligation this week. 3. Creative flow that returns in waves. Projects you shelved start feeling magnetic again. Your attention settles differently. It's a flow that repairs earlier friction. Reflective prompt. Which project do you return to even when you feel tired? Micro-action. Choose 1 small prototype related to that project and commit 90 minutes this week to test it. No perfection, only experiment. 4. The urge to change direction. This isn't panic. It's a steady pull toward a new path that can be tested in baby steps. Reflective prompt. If you could change 1 professional or creative direction without worrying about what others think, what would you try? Micro-action. Name 1 first step that costs time but not your security, a class, a conversation, a short piece of writing, and schedule it in. 5. Motivation to start without all the answers. Instead of waiting for every condition to be perfect, you feel a readiness to act with incomplete information. That's Saturn and Neptune holding hands. Vision plus realistic pacing. Reflective prompt. What one small commitment could you keep for 7 consecutive days to test momentum? Micro-action. Pick that commitment and put it on your calendar now with a reminder to log 5 to 10 minutes of progress each day. 6. Re-evaluating relationships, not in fear, but in search of alignment. You may notice who increases your courage and who drains it. Reflective prompt. Which relationship makes you feel more like the person you want to become? Micro-action. Have one honest, calm conversation this week where you ask for what you need or set a compassionate boundary. 7. Quiet confidence replacing frantic searching. It's a quieter bravery. You don't need to prove everything at once. Reflective prompt. What small action makes you feel present and capable? Micro-action. Create a 2-minute ritual to anchor you each morning. A stretch, a single breath practice, a written affirmation, and do it 3 mornings in a row. 8. Synchronicities starting to bookend your days. You notice patterns, a repeated phrase, someone who appears with helpful information, a coincidence that nudges you. Reflective prompt. What 3 coincidences this week felt meaningful? Micro-action. Keep a simple synchronicity note in your phone and record the date plus 1 line about what felt significant. If 2 or more of these ring true for you, don't shrug them off. This window is short. Momentum is real when you convert inner signals into small external experiments. The point is not to chase every feeling, but to treat these signals as invitations to act with curiosity and structure. Now let's move from noticing to doing. Here's a compact strategy you can start today that honors Venus, Neptune, and Saturn, desire, imagination, and discipline, and that's designed to be simple, repeatable, and honest. Step 1. Journal without critique. Give yourself 3 pages or 20 minutes to pour out what you want, no edits. That's Venus opening the vault. Use prompts like, if money, time, and others' opinions weren't a factor, what would I begin now? And what gives me a real sense of value? Don't aim for a polished plan here. The job is to surface desires in plain language. Step 2. Choose one bold 30-day goal. This is your Saturn-friendly container for Neptune's dream. The goal should be specific, measurable in some way, and promising enough that it excites you. Examples. Complete a 30-day writing sprint with one 500-word piece every other day. Run 3 days a week and build to 20 minutes of continuous movement. Prototype a minimum viable version of the project you've been avoiding. Bold doesn't mean risky. It means visible. Step 3. Break that 30-day goal into weekly milestones. Week 1. Clarify and start. Week 2. Iterate and troubleshoot. Week 3. Deepen and add complexity. Week 4. Present or reflect publicly in some small way. A short post, a share with a friend, a recorded reading. Step 4. Adopt a daily micro-habit that supports the goal. Micro-habits are small enough you can't fail them. Examples. 10 minutes of focused work on the project, morning pages for 5 minutes, a nightly review of progress for 3 minutes. The point is consistency, not drama. Step 5. Schedule one weekly accountability checkpoint. This can be with a friend, a brief online check-in, or a simple log that you keep for yourself. Saturn likes a witness. Having a single person or a small ritual that marks your progress increases staying power. A simple 30-day plan template. Pick the goal. Write the promise in 1 sentence. Define the 3 weekly milestones. Assign your daily micro-habit. Pick one accountability check-in. That's your minimal operating system for this window. Now let's personalize how this might show up across the zodiac. Quick practical notes so you can feel seen without getting locked into predictions. Read your sign, but know that everyone can experience these energies in similar ways. These are prompts, not fate. Aries. You may feel a literal itch to start. Channel it by naming one project and taking the first public step, an announcement, a small launch, or a visible commitment. Taurus. Your values are refining. Reframe what enough means and protect time to prototype a new creative expression that aligns with those values. Gemini. New conversations arrive. Use them. Schedule a clarifying call. Write the outline of an idea that keeps coming up and test it in dialogue. Cancer. Emotional clarity deepens into protection of your inner life. Create a boundary that buys you space to incubate a personal project. Leo. You might find inspiration through performance or playful experiment. Try a short creative sprint and share the results with a small, supportive audience. Virgo. Practical instinct sharpens. Turn inspiration into systems, a checklist, a simple workflow, and a 7-day trial. Libra. Relationships and value systems rebalance. Ask for honest feedback about one creative offering and use it to refine a next step. Scorpio. Your inner vision intensifies. Commit to one deep research or practice session and let that depth inform your first prototype. Sagittarius. A hunger for new horizons can lead to a learning commitment. Enroll in one course or read one transformative book and apply one idea immediately. Capricorn. Discipline meets new meaning. Build a scaffold, a weekly planning ritual that turns the dream into something you can schedule. Aquarius. You might sense a calling to community innovation. Draft a short plan for testing an idea in a small group or online forum. Pisces. Your intuition is vivid. Keep a dream journal for a week and extract one symbolic thread you can test in waking life as a creative experiment. Keep this section as a quick landing. These are options, not prescriptions. Choose one that fits, then use the 30-day template above. Before I tell you the myth that gives these forces emotional texture, one small practical caveat: this conjunction is symbolic and interpretive. It may nudge inner shifts and external openings, but it doesn't replace concrete planning or professional advice when you need it. Treat it as a heightened moment for trying, not as an entitlement to instant outcomes. Now for the mythic shorthand, 3 short images to help your imagination feel at home with what's happening. These are metaphors meant to illuminate, not literal history. Imagine Venus as Aphrodite, rising not as a passive ornament but as the sudden flowering of a thing worth protecting. In myth, she emerges from the sea, unbidden and undeniable. As a symbol she asks, what in you insists on being cherished? When Venus aligns with Neptune and Saturn, she gives permission to claim a desire and demand its dignity. But she also asks you to name what you truly value, not what looks good on paper. Picture Neptune as Poseidon or the Lord of the Sea, not as chaos alone, but as the vast unconscious, where images and currents move beyond language. Neptune offers the map of possibility: longings, images, synesthetic clues. When you listen to Neptune, you use imagination like a compass. You notice patterns that ordinary attention misses, and you allow intuitions to inform practical choices. See Saturn as Cronus, the teacher of limits, timing, and craft. In myth, he sometimes appears stern, but symbolically he guarantees that anything real must be shaped. Saturn asks for form. When Saturn aligns with Venus and Neptune, you get the rare combination of heart, dream, and workmanship, desire that can be made into structure. Together, the 3 invite a simple story. A desire surfaces, Venus, imagination gives it shape and meaning, Neptune, and discipline builds the path so it endures, Saturn. That triad is why this moment can feel like a real reset. The soul's wants meet the mind's vision and the body's ability to work. If you take only one thing from this whole conversation, do this. Name one desire in a single sentence and attach one micro-action to it for the next 7 days. That's it. That small discipline marries Venus's longing to Saturn's follow-through with Neptune's permission to dream. It keeps you honest and hopeful. A few examples to make. One sentence plus one micro action for 7 days, practical. I want to write again. Plus, write for 10 minutes each morning for 7 days. I want to feel healthier. Plus, take a 20-minute walk 5 days this week. I want clearer boundaries. Plus, practice a single boundary conversation in one relationship this week. Keep the action tiny. The point is to build momentum, not to test your courage. Before we close, a quick reminder about signs you may be ignoring. They often show up as low-grade discomfort, recurring images or people, and a surprising willingness to trade certainty for possibility. If you've been dismissing those whispers as anxiety, try reframing them as invitations that deserve an experiment instead of suppression. This window is happening soon. It can be a tidal nudge more than a tidal wave. Treat it like a laboratory where you test small hypotheses about who you want to be. Be compassionate with yourself. Not every experiment will succeed. And the point is to learn quickly and iterate. When things work, celebrate quietly. When they don't, take the data. Now go do one tiny thing. Write the one-sentence desire and schedule your 7-day micro-action. If you felt seen by any of the 8 signs, drop a comment below with your city and which sign resonated most. I read every note. Try the micro-action this week and come back to tell us what happened. The universe, or God, if you believe, is not a clock that forces outcomes. It's a mirror that reflects readiness. Show up, and the mirror will show you what to refine next. You're at the edge of something that wants to begin. Don't miss it because you waited for perfection. Begin with a single sentence, a tiny step, and a willingness to keep going.